Greetings everyone and welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. And I hope you're all fine and dandy out there, and today we are going to be taking a trip down Hot Toys Grail memory lane with an up-close look at Sigourney Weaver, aka Ellen Ripley, from the 1979 Ridley Scott directed masterpiece that is Alien, in my humble opinion. The review will take the usual format. We'll have a quick look at the box, then it'll be down onto the table for a look at all the accessories, then it'll be out with the warrant officer herself, onto the stand, onto the turntable for a close-up look, and finally we'll be wrapping the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end. But before we get started, I would like to say a huge thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel. The support you've given the channel in the relatively short period of time we've been around has been truly amazing. And if you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the content that we've got coming up on the channel. And trust me, there's a lot of it, some of which we will list before we go to the showcase at the end. It's also worth mentioning at this point, on a slightly more serious note, that this channel has no relationships with any manufacturers or suppliers. All the figures you see reviewed on this channel have been bought and paid for with my own hard-earned cash at retail prices. As we know, art is subjective and opinions vary, but what I endeavour to do is to be as subjective as possible, regardless of outside influences. I try to judge a figure or statue purely based on what I see in front of me, using my knowledge and experience acquired over a number of years of collecting, and review it as honestly as I can. But that's enough of me on my soapbox. I'll get off the soapbox and onto the art box. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Very nice box it is too. We've got to remember here that we're looking at something that's approximately released about 6 years ago, so this is more the old school look for Hot Toys boxes, but it's very, very straightforward design. Let's just stop it from spinning so we can have a quick close-up look at it. What you've got is the normal slipcover design box. On the front here, there's a picture of the figure itself in this sort of red relief. You've got Alien across the centre there, it says Ellen Ripley down here, and you've got the movie Masterpiece and Hot Toys logos at the bottom there. Swing it round on the side, it's just a continuation of that front image. It says Alien, Ellen Ripley again. I believe it's the same on the other side. Yes, it is. Just says Alien on the top there, and Alien on the bottom. We'll bring it round to the back, and on the back there, you've got the usual warnings and credits. Don't piss this figure off, or you might not get your company percentage. So yeah, very, very simple box, but very, very effective. We'll just lift this slipcover off to have a look underneath. Obviously, the figure is already out of the box. This is not a brand new figure to me. I've had it for a while in the collection. But yeah, you've just got a continuation of that very, very simple colour pattern and design on the inside. On here, you've got the Alien symbol itself, says Ellen Ripley, and the Weyland-Yutani symbol. Same on the other side, and once again you've got the credits on the back there, which is good to see. It's a clear plastic fronted box, so you can see the figure underneath, as I say, obviously already out of the box. So that's the box. So without further ado, let's dive down onto the table and have a look at all the accessories that come with your Ripley figure. Okay, so here we are down on the table with all the accessories that come with your Ellen Ripley figure from Hot Toys. We'll start, as we always do, with the hands. There are a pair already on the figure. There's a couple of pairs down here. You get 6 hands in total. There's gripping hands, trigger hands, fisted hands. But we'll have a quick look at a couple of them, just to have get an idea of the quality. I think we need to bear in mind at this point that this is a 6-7 year old figure, so head sculpts and hand sculpts and so on, and paint applications have come on quite significantly in that time. But let's have a look at what we've got here. So yeah, hands are relatively straightforward. The paint applications are nice, the skin texturing and tone is nice. There's some reddening to the knuckles there. There's an attempt at fingernails. There's some creasing along the fingers there, and some creasing in the palms. But yeah, there's multiple paint applications there to give it that lifelike skin color and texture. quite simplistic, not the most detailed hands I've ever seen, but like I say, we've got to remember what we're looking at here is a 6-year-old figure. Let's do the flexibility test. Oh yeah, these definite soft here. My preferred hand type for swapping out and for accessories as well. So yeah, you've got a lot of flexibility in giving these hands. Let's grab another one at random. There's another open palm hand. Yeah, same quality of sculpt, same quality of paint application. We can get these into camera. Yeah, pretty good, taking into consideration this figure's age. But yeah, and then there's a fisted hand as well. So yeah, that's your hands. Very well done, considering the age. Let's move on to the other bits and pieces. Oh yeah, before we do, talking of hands, you get 2 spare wrist pegs. Good to see these are unopened. As I said, this isn't a brand new figure to me, but the fact that these are unopened, I think is always a good sign that they haven't snapped or broken. And a lot of that, in my opinion, is down to the type of plastic. The softer the plastic, the easier it is to swap out the hands, the less likely you are to break a wrist peg. However, when gripping certain accessories, that's where you can encounter some issues, but it's all about finding that balance. So yeah, a couple of spare wrist pegs. What you also get are these spare buttons. There's a couple of spare buttons. Now, these are actually for Ripley's shirt. We'll see that when we bring the figure out. But yeah, the fact that they've included a couple of these, because these are notorious for dropping off. This is the tiniest spot of glue attaching them to the clothing. And yeah, they do have a tendency to fly off. But the fact that, once again, these are still in their original plastic bag is a good sign. I've never had to replace any of the buttons on this figure, so yeah, we'll put that to one side. Instructions. Comes with the standard set of Hot Toys instructions. This is around constructing the base and swapping out hands and so on and so forth. So yeah, set of instructions there if you need them. Put those to one side. We'll take a look at this watch. It comes with a 6-scale watch, all one piece of sculpted plastic. I hope the light's picking this up. It's relatively simple. Screen accuracy is here as far as I can tell, because they sort of have this double-faced, almost digital watch design, which is replicated here. It's quite a simple sculpt. You've got some orange paint applications there and some high gloss black, and it's simply a case of popping off the hand, slotting this onto the wrist, and yeah, and does a good job of actually covering up the wrist joint as well. So yeah, that's the watch. Put that to one side. Let's take a look at this. Now, this is the motion tracker, which they cobbled together in the film, and very, very nicely done it is too. Very, very screen accurate as far as I can tell. The colours are right. The detailing is right. It is exceptionally well detailed. There are multiple paint washes on here. We'll get this into shot. There are greens and there's some darker sections, multiple shades of green in there. There's some washes on there, some dry brushing to give it that weathered effect. If the camera can see this underneath, there's some sort of silver dry brushing on there to give it that weathered effect. These some of these pipes are actually sculpted in, and some are actually a softer plastic. For example, these pipes across this section here are actually a softer plastic. The main casing and housing of this tracker, which keys in on micro changes in air density. God, I'm getting old. Need to get out more often. But yeah, so some of these wires are genuine wires, some of them are rubber hoses, but yeah, overall it's really, really well done and really screen accurate as far as I can tell. There's dry brushing on this nozzle area here to give it some weathering. There's the actual motion tracker itself, which looks like it might be a sticker or could very well be painted on to the plastic itself. But you've got multiple buttons in here that have been individually painted. Yeah, and just overall, the quality of the sculpt, the screen accuracy are all on point. So yeah, props to Hot Toys on that one. A good job there. We'll put that to one side. Let's take a look at the flamethrower. This is really, really nicely done. I'm going to chance my arms and say this is 100% screen accurate. I have seen this film more times than I care to remember. I've revisited some stills, and this looks like a really, really good replication in 6 scale of the flamethrower. And it was actually a functioning flamethrower in the film itself as well. They've done a really, really good job here. It's all sculpted plastic. A bar, I believe, these two metal hooks at the top here, which attach the canvas. I believe it's either canvas or nylon. I think this is canvas actually, but yeah, that attach the canvas strap at the top of these two hooks. They are very thin, these metal hooks, so I would say exercise caution. The body of the flamethrower itself looks really, really well sculpted, and as I say, completely screen accurate. There's lots of paint application. Well, I wouldn't say there's lots of paint applications. That's the wrong expression. The main body here is done in this sort of off-white plastic, and then you've got a hell of a lot of weathering going on here. It's been dirtied up really, really well. There's lots of dry brushing on there. As with the tracker, these wires are real wires and are actually glued in, so they are very delicate. So I would say, once again, exercise caution. But yeah, the paint applications look really good. The detailing looks absolutely on point. Let's bring it round, have a look at the other side. The canisters on here, once again, right colours and screen accurate, and the level of detailing for a 6-year-old figure is really, really good, and just overall a really nice piece. Very, very well done. So we'll pop the flamethrower to one side. What else do you get? You get Jonesy. Fantastic to see Jonesy making an appearance. A 1/6 scale sculpted ginger cat having a hissy fit. Yeah, it's there. It's recognisable as a cat. Perhaps not 100% recognisable as Jonesy. I think, yeah, the eyes on this are totally black, which give Jonesy a really, really evil appearance. When in fact, I mean, if my memory serves me correctly, he had ginger eyes as well. But yeah, but I'm not going to complain about the colour of his eyes too much. The sculpt is really nice. The body colours are nice. The paint applications are nice, barring those evil eyes. And he's having that hissy moment, as I said, and great for the display. And also, to go with your 1/6 scale Jonesy, you get a 1/6 scale Jonesy carrier. And once again, this is done really, really well. The sculpt here is really nice. It's got that same sort of green hue that the motion tracker has, but the paint applications are really good. You've got the Weyland-Yutani symbol on here, and that doesn't look like a sticker. It may be a sticker, not 100% certain, but yeah, you've got the Weyland-Yutani symbol there. You've got all kinds of weathering going on here, and paint applications to give it that battered and used look. Yeah, the sculpting's really nice. It's got a carrying handle there, so you can have the figure carrying it if you want, and it's got a party piece as well, which is this top section. He said confidently actually lifts off if it wants to do this on camera, and I haven't done this for a while. I'm probably doing this from the wrong side, to be honest with you. Yeah, I am. I very rarely use this with anything in it. Jonesy's normally outside, so forgive me for not remembering which way it opens. But yeah, it opens up and you can put Jonesy inside it as well. And there's even some detailing on the inside as well, which is really nice. And it's got this clear plastic sections here, so you can see him inside the carrying case. So yeah, there's Jonesy's little portable home. And very nice. We'll put that to one side. We'll put Jonesy to one side. And finally is this stand. So let's take a look at the stand. And I do like this stand. It's all one piece of sculpted plastic. Quick look at the bottom. There's no foam feet on this one, so I would exercise caution if you're lucky enough to pick this figure up on the aftermarket. It may slide around on a glass surface or on the shelf. You've just simply got Aliens and 20th Century Fox across the bottom there. But it's the top of this thing that really is really impressive. You've sort of got this mechanical stroke. How can I put this? Designed to look like a section of the Nostromo itself. It's really, really nicely detailed. You've got the yellow and black edging here, the warning edging. You've got Ripley's names actually being painted on the front there. You've got lots of different paint applications going on here, lots of different shades of black. There's dry brushing, there's some dirtying up effects to give it that weathered look. There's some red detailing. This grill is really, really nicely done. It looks cracked and pitted as it does at the front. And there's just all kinds of sort of little intricate details going on all around it. And yeah, I think it's a really, really nice base, this, and it's a job well done there by Hot Toys. And it comes with the standard issue crotch grabber, which you simply slot into that section there. So yeah, there you have it. That's the display stand, and very nice it is too. So that's all the accessories. So without further ado, what we'll do next is we'll bring out the warrant officer herself, get her onto the stand, get her onto the turntable, and find out if the years have been kind to her and if she still has her Grail status. Okay, so here she is. It's Ripley herself, onto the stand, onto the turntable. I can't give first impressions, obviously, because this figure isn't entirely new to me. I've had it quite some time in the collection, but I can give second impressions, as I always do. And I am still incredibly impressed, even now, with this figure. The proportions look absolutely spot on. The outfit itself looks completely screen accurate, incredibly well done. The colours are right. The head sculpt we will come to, but yeah, I think is absolutely spot on. Is it deserving of its Grail status? Well, we'll reserve that judgment for the end of the end section of this review. But let's have a look at some of the details. Let's stop her spinning, as we always do, and take an up close look at her. Right, so we'll start at the bottom and work our way up, as we always do. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get her off the stand and get her closer into camera so we can look at the details here. As I say, we'll start with the feet and work our way up. So what we're looking at here are the sneakers, the high tops that she wore in the movie itself. They're all one piece of sculpted plastic, no split cut boot design here, pegged, I believe, straight into the legs themselves. The sculpt there is really, really nice. You've got washing on there and some dry brushing to pick out the details. They look completely screen accurate to me, slightly off-white with this red and black stripe. You even down to the grips on the soles of the shoes themselves, the boots, and some dry brushing on there as well, some weathering on the soles, which is nice to see. So yeah, the boots are really nicely done, really screen accurate. There's lateral movement in here, not so much forward and backward. It's because obviously there's no split cut boot design. It reaches that sort of zenith of its movement and then stops. But yeah, plenty of movement there, considering it's all one piece of sculpted plastic. Let's take a look at these overalls now. This flight suit is really, really well done. The stitching is exceptional, even by today's standards. The stitch work in here, and it looks 100% screen accurate. The colour looks right to me, and there's even some weathering on here. It's sort of I'm not sure if the light's picking this up, but it's got that sort of dark grey with almost a touch of purple in there, almost a slight hint, but not a vast amount, which is once again is completely screen accurate. But the stitch work around these sort of thigh areas here, where there's an extra section, is really, really good. And we all know how 6-scale stitching, when it's not done correctly, can throw off a figure. But yeah, the quality of that stitch work is continued throughout the entire flight suit itself. The screen accuracy looks there. The proportions look right. It's a sort of it's a cotton material. I would say it's sort of a medium weight cotton material, which falls really well. You've got these detailings on the shins here, where the stitching's really nice. Up front, you've got this 6-scale zip, functioning 6-scale zip. Exercise caution as always with these. Sometimes it's I find if you're moving the zip up and down, just to get a pair of needle nose pliers into there and then gently pull it. But yeah, let's take a look round the back. What stands out about the back of this is just the quality of the outfit and the work that's gone into it, even down to these ribbing, this ribbing section in the small of the back here, which is all cotton. It's not sculpted in any way. It's actually individual bits of cotton that run up through the back here. And then you have this section which hangs down. The fit is fantastic. Doesn't restrict the movement in any way. The articulation, never really tried this. This is a new one on me because I've always had her in a museum and vanilla pose, but it's just this leg's a little bit twisted off. But let's just yeah, those knees. It feels like there's a double joint. Yeah, there's a double joint at the knees there. The waist, I believe, is yeah, at the top of the waist there. I believe you're looking at a ball joint there into the main part of the body itself. Coming up, you have got underneath this flight suit, and I'll try and get this into camera. Is this collared shirt? Now, this shirt looks completely accurate to me. It was a slightly off-white, which is what we're looking at here. And if the camera can get in there, I'm not going to take this flight suit off, but underneath the sort of the lapel here of the flight suit, you've got a Weyland-Yutani symbol on that shirt there, if the camera's picking it up. Those buttons that we mentioned in the accessory section, which have stayed affixed 6 years down the line, are still fine. You've got now I believe these might be stickers, or they might be sort of like iron-on transfers, but you've got a Weyland-Yutani symbol there. There's another symbol above that, once again completely screen accurate, and then on the shoulder section there is the Nostromo badge and her number there, or is that the Nostromo's registration number? Can't remember, but yeah, that's repeated on the other side as well. They don't feel glued on. They feel like those sort of iron-on transfers, perhaps. But the years have been kind to these. Many times you'll find that transfers like this or stickers tend to peel off, but these haven't. These are still as secure as the day she first came out the box, which is fantastic to see. So yeah, overall, this outfit is phenomenal. It really is. The colour's right, the fit is right, the quality of the stitch work, everything absolutely on point. Can't fault it. Even down to the green t-shirt underneath the collared shirt itself, which is a nice cotton material with some six scale stitching around the neck area. It's the right shade of green. Looks absolutely spot on to me. So this head sculpt, yeah, now let's get right into shot. Has this head sculpt stood the test of time? I think it has. I still absolutely love this head sculpt. Now, I will add a caveat to that. With modern Hot Toys, and not just Hot Toys, modern 6-scale figures in general, the sculpts, as we mentioned before, the head sculpts, hand sculpts, and so on, have come on in leaps and bounds. And perhaps it is ever so slightly missing that HD quality that we would see in a modern day Hot Toys head sculpt. However, I think for a 6-year-old head sculpt, that is absolutely spot on. And Sigourney Weaver is not the easiest person in the world to sculpt in 1/6, or in any scale for that matter, to be honest with you. She has that predominant jawline, rather sharp features, but I think, and considering her age in the movie, they have done a phenomenal job here. Now it's a pegged on head sculpt. The paint applications match the neck paint applications really, really well. There's not too much visible join there where the head meets the body. The skin texturing is really nice. The paint applications are really good. I love the expression here where we've got just a little bit of her teeth showing. It just works for me, and I think it really does capture that essence of Sigourney Weaver. The eyes are the right colour and beautifully glassy. They catch the light wonderfully. This is a really, really photogenic figure. If you're into photography, it just photographs so well. The hair, now, this is sculpted plastic hair, but I think they've done a really, really good job here. Because, I mean, her hair was, I don't want to say messy, but there was a lot going on with her hair, shall we say, in the film. And they've really sort of captured the essence of it here with layers of plastic. And what they've done is, rather than just go for one piece, they've actually, and I'll try and get this into shot, and I don't want to risk damaging it, but as you can probably see here, they've layered the plastic to replicate the layers in her hair, and it just works really, really well. The paint application is great. There are individual strands picked out. The colour is spot on. having this type of hair can restrict the movement a little bit on the head, with it catching on the flight suit, but it's not really an issue. It just takes a little bit of futzing to get it to move around. So yeah, hair spot on. Head sculpt absolutely nailed on as far as I'm concerned. Proportions right. Outfit, flight suit, screen accurate and really, really well tailored. I'm struggling to find anything bad to say about this. Perhaps there could be slightly more detailing on these forearms with the when you roll the sleeves up. There is a seam there, and it doesn't look like there's much in the way of paint applications on these forearms. If there is any, yeah, there is. There is actually some paint applications on there. I'll correct myself there, but perhaps they could be a little bit better. And then there's these sort of exposed joints, these ball joints for the hands, which are a little ugly, but as we mentioned in the accessories section, they can be easily covered up with the watch. And the other arm, I actually, and you'll see this in the showcase section, I actually use a little bit of bandage that has been taped together, and I simply put it over that arm there to cover up that wrist joint. But let's get it back on the stand and go in for final thoughts. Yeah, I don't want this to turn into a gush fest, but the expression grail piece is bandied around an awful lot in the 6-scale world. But I think this piece actually justifies the title of grail piece. I think it is absolutely phenomenal work, especially when you consider its age. I just genuinely think it is a phenomenal piece, and I'm really, really glad to have it in the collection. Has it stood the test of time? Absolutely, 100%. Giving it a score out of 10 is a bit of a moot point on us, I suppose, on a figure this old. However, taking into consideration everything, I would still give this an 8 or a 9 by today's standards. Had, getting this in hand 6 years ago, it would have been a definite 10 straight away. There's very little on here to fault, very little indeed. I mean, as what I would say as well, to Hot Toys, if you are listening, you're probably not, but if you were, I would say this is one of those figures that could really, really benefit from a 2.0 version. We're seeing a lot of Hot Toys releases of artisan pieces with rooted hair and so on and so forth, and I'd really love to see them do a 2.0 version of this, an artisan version with rooted hair, where they could maybe update that head sculpt a little bit and tweak this figure. But as it stands, it's still a phenomenal piece. It's really a prime example of Hot Toys flexing themselves. And it would be great to see them, venture away maybe from the MCU and Star Wars a little bit and back into stuff like this. That would be fantastic to see. So yeah, by today, it's still an 8, a 9, maybe a 9 actually. I'll still give it a 9.5. It's still just simply outstanding piece today. So that's enough of me gushing. What are your thoughts on this piece? I would be absolutely fascinated to find out. Do you have this piece in your collection? What are your thoughts? If you don't, I'd still like to hear what are your thoughts on this and on Hot Toys in general. So, please pop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what's your take on this. And I suppose all it remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching. I hope this review's been useful to you. What have we got coming up? Just briefly, before we zip over to the showcase section, on the horizon we have, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head here, might have to prompt myself. Oh yeah, we've got Brad Pitt as Achilles from Troy. That's the HH model, updated version. That's coming in soon. We've got Pop Toys Ujio from The Last Samurai. That's on its way to us. We've got Blitzway's Astro Boy, the 1.5 version. Really looking forward to that. Hot Toys Catwoman, the 2.0 version, that's on its way as well. What else? Fishbones, V for Vendetta. Some worries around that one, as anyone who has seen my Fishbones Michael Corleone review will probably understand why, but fingers crossed it's perhaps not as car crash as that figure. But yeah, there's an awful lot of stuff on its way in. we've got a lot more retro reviews coming up, showcases. So yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon so you're not missing anything. So I suppose all it remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching and for your support. Take care of yourselves from me and from Ellen Ripley. It's happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.